Are Arsenal going to go through to the semi-finals, or will Crystal Palace cause a shock in tonight's Carabao Cup quarter-final at the Emirates? A big game for Arsenal, a big game for Crystal Palace, especially the way their season has gone. They haven't had the best season. They've had a very average season. They've not had a great season. They're towards that relegation zone as well. And a really big battle for them. 15th position, 16 points in 16 games. Arsenal sitting third currently with 30 points, just behind Chelsea with 34 and behind Liverpool with 36, of course, the game in hand as well. But tonight we switch attention from the Premier League to the Carabao Cup. And of course, we look at Arsenal's last 5 home games. They've had results in all competitions. They've done pretty well, winning 3 out of the 5, keeping 4 clean sheets and also a draw with Liverpool. So they drew 2-2 with Liverpool, beat Forest 3-0, beat Man United 2-0, beat Monaco 3-0, drew 0-0 with Everton. And the next 4 home games they have, 2 relatively easy ones, you would say, for them. They've got Crystal Palace tonight, of course, then Ipswich Town, Man United, Tottenham and Villa. So 3 tough home games coming up after the next 2. If we look at the away form for Crystal Palace, they've not done bad either. Their away form is actually pretty impressive. You compare that to the home form with 1 win in 5. Their away form, they've actually got 3 wins in 5, and they're undefeated in the last 5 games. They won 2-1 against Villa in the last round. They drew 2-2 with Wolves, 2-2 with Villa, 1-0 win against Ipswich, and a 3-1 win against Brighton as well. So, to be honest, form-wise, they've done fantastically well. You look at the League Cup, all the away ties they've had in the last couple of seasons. Crystal Palace, they've won 3 out of 5 of the away ones. The only ones they lost was the penalties on Newcastle and Man United away. For Arsenal in the League Cup, they won 3 of the last 5 as well. The 2 they lost were against Liverpool and Brighton, and the previous time they played was this year when Nwaya, I can't say his name, he scored twice in their 5-1 victory against Bolton Wanderers. But I do think it is going to be an interesting game for sure. I think Arsenal really are favourites of the game. They're expected to go through. I'm sure there'll be rotation. Crystal Palace, I think they'll rotate, but I think they'll play more of a stronger team or more resemblance to their first team than what Arsenal will. I think Arsenal will change. They probably will put the young lad up front, Nwanri. I can't say his name. But him scored twice in the last round against Bolton. I'm sure they'll rest players as well. Of course, things haven't gone to plan as well in the Premier League as they wanted to at the moment. Arteta was also questioned in his press conference about trophies, about 1 trophy in 5 years. He then said about the Community Shield. Really, the Community Shield isn't really a trophy, let's be real. Let's be honest, it's just a curtain raiser and a glorified friendly at the end of the day. But competitively, where you have to play rounds of a competition, Arsenal have 1 trophy in the last 5 years. And that's something Arteta is going to want to change. Whether that's the Carabao Cup, whether that's the FA Cup, maybe the Premier League. Unlikely, but maybe the Champions League. He'll want to change that. And he'll have to go into tonight against Crystal Palace, relatively thinking, of course, Crystal Palace's away form is pretty good. They had, like I say, that big win against Brighton at the weekend, 3-1. Really good result for them. A very good result, positive result. Brighton, as we know, aren't a bad side. They're not a terrible side. They can cause upsets during their season, whether that's against Liverpool, Man United, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever. They can cause an upset. They can be on it. But for me, I do see Arsenal going through. In my mind, I'm thinking like 2-1, something like this. Because I think they'll have too much for Palace. I think they will have too much for them. Will people like Saka start? Who knows? After the questions he's had about trophies, he'll want to go through, I'm sure. and he'll want to win the competition. There's no point in being in competitions if you don't want to win them anyway. So I think he'll want to win the competition, to be really honest. I think he's going to want to win that competition. So I think he'll put a relatively strong side out with one or two additions or subtractions from the first 11. But like I say, if Saka does play, he's the man in form for them right now. I'd probably say he's second under Salah for like form in the Premier League. He's a creative spark for the team. He really is. I do think on the left-hand side, I think they need to do a bit better. Martinelli especially. Gabriel Jesus has to do better when starting up front. As for Palace, you look towards people like Gehi and Eberici Eze and people like this, maybe Mateta, to try and do something in this game. It's a different type of game, of course. Form goes out the window technically because it's not the Premier League. It's all about the Carabao Cup. But yeah, I do see Arsenal winning this. Let me know, guys, what you think. Comment section, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.